Are you ready to love? Please get ready to love. Everybody, we want you ready to love. Shake up, shake up, shake up at Ready to Love this week. Oh my God. As Chris said, we are in the trenches. We got the rug pulled up and under us this week, Shawnee. We were both with our mouths open. Hey, hey, Chat Suite family. We're back here to talk to you all again about Ready to Love. You know, that's one of our favorite reality shows. Thank you so much for coming to our channel. If you haven't been here before, we talk about everything that we love for the timeless woman, fashion, lifestyle, health, wellness, beauty. We're going to get that finances in here. And we also throw in every now and then a little reality TV, which is what we love. So we're talking today again about Ready to Love. We saw the episode this past week, and we're super excited to come in and chop it up with you all and talk about it. So sit back. Shani and I got a lot of ideas about what's going on, what's to happen. Woo, some ideas and, you know, some mystery too at the same time. So we're going to see that masquerade ball, unbelievable. People, like I said, fell in love. People we thought was in love fell out of love. People got kicked to the curb. Shani, let's get into it. Come on.
Oh my God, this episode just hurt my poor heart. I was like, oh, I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming the way it came.
Yes, yes.
Too much.
Couldn't have imagined. So we thought just going into it, we had our conversation last week about all the couples we thought were like a match and like great chemistry and really had big hopes for Tressa. And is it Dietrich? Is that his name?
Yes, Dietrich.
Dietrich, yes. Tressa?
No, Dedrick.
It's Dedrick.
Okay.
We're sorry, Dedrick.
I know, no offense.
Yes, we're sorry. We love you, Chef. Right. So, but we, totally got knocked off our feet about this, family. Like, had no idea that I really want to see some on the floor cut footage from this.
I know, right? The original uncut version of it.
Seriously.
Was he just playing with her last time when he said, I want to see? Because to me, to just go to not even say, well, no, I don't have no connection. I mean, were you playing?
I don't know. It was so, she was excited. She's like, I'm coming to the spice shop, so I'm gonna look a little spicy for you. And all of a sudden, it was just, I'm sure, of course, their date was longer than what we were able to, on television.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is it about her that everybody keeps seeing as she's the homie, or are they just making an excuse because of her being a curvy girl? You know,
just say it, but I think it's that.
It's because of the curvy girl. Yeah. Because I'm looking at Tressa. She wasn't doing her clown act. She wasn't trying to act like a comedian. She's like a regular woman on a date with a gentleman. And how was she giving off the homie vibes? And yeah, I'm with you. I think it was just a matter of the physicality of her. Like, they just weren't attracted to her physically. And so they couldn't get past that. And that's
sad, though. It's unfortunate. But I know people say, everybody says, oh, people like what they like. I understand that. But, and he's in his 40s? They're both in their 40s. After a certain time, in your life, you have to get past just the physicality. I think.
Yeah.
Men out there, any men out there, can it happen or what? Is that just what that's forever? When if let's say somebody's 65 and they trying to get ready to love and they're going to be looking for the physicality. I'm just like, God.
Seriously.
For her.
I'm sorry to cut you off, because this one is like, I really would like for some guys out there to chime in on this. And I know there's so much conversation out on the internet about, a woman's look and blah, blah, blah. But women can get judged about their looks and if they're not physically fit and they're out in the world trying to date. And oftentimes everybody's like, I love the confidence, but it's really, they can't get past that. And I'll just say it hurt me to my heart when she said, a lot of guys will be intimate with a curvy girl, but then they don't want anything more from them. And I'm just like, our men, come on, I know our men are not this shallow. And
then he was like, yeah. Unless it was edited a certain way. He was like, yeah, I agree. He agreed, he co-signed that. I'm like, dude, really?
That's what made me have a different visual on him, because He was one of your favorites too, right?
He was.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It made
I know, but still, I'm just like,
it made me have a different visual on him because I was just like, I mean, unless he's considers himself, he's just a straight shooter, and I tell it like it is, and I shoot from the hip, and I mean, it could be that, but I thought, oh goodness, you shouldn't have maybe answered that, or maybe just
gave her a look. Nah, it's like that. Nah,
right.
Sometimes, but just like, yeah.
And AJ said that about her too. Like I just wasn't physically attracted to her. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, like, I mean, like you said, people like what they like, and men are visual. I definitely get that 1000%. I will say that, a wonderful person that might be a great partner, she can lose weight. He can lose weight. I mean, it goes both ways too, because sometimes women, they don't want a gentleman that, has a little bit of extra curviness on him.
Right.
And then sometimes it comes down to just where some people are really about their health, and taking great care of themselves, and they pride themselves on that. They put a lot of time and energy into good health, and they want to make sure they have a partner that's in that same vein.
That's true. But I want to say something on that, because have you looked at Tressa's Instagram?
I have not.
She has lost 65 pounds. She lost that weight before she got onto the show. She didn't just do that. Because I'm just saying what you were saying about the unhealthy eating and people wants people to be healthy. Mm-hmm. She made a comment about that, because I guess people have been DMing her saying she's you need to get healthy and da da da. And I was like,
okay.
And she said that while you guys are all saying that, I eat healthy. She said, I have lost 65 pounds she said for 4 years she's kept 65 pounds off.
Oh wow, that's great.
So this is not anything new. She had done that before, because you saw the picture of herself. Did you have seen the picture before? Because 4 years ago she was a lot more voluptuous or curvy than she is now. So she has lost 65 pounds and kept it off for 4 years. And she said people were DMing her saying, oh, she's unhealthy, she eats unhealthy and all that. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I do eat healthy, and I do strive to live a healthy lifestyle.
Gotcha. Well, I will say, I don't know what I was looking at yesterday, but I saw a picture of her. She actually, whatever picture I looked at yesterday, she was smaller than she was on this taped show.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thought to myself, wow, I was like, she looks amazing. Because she's a beautiful woman.
Yes. I think she's very pretty.
Right. So that's just, that hurt me. But, the family, we want to get an episode on that about just, can men get past the physical? Can men get past can a man see a woman past the initial visual that they see? Put some information down there, ask us some questions. We want to know, we want to talk about this and have this as a topic, for one of our episodes. We love to talk about relationships. So we want to definitely explore this. And we probably have our great gentleman friends on that can, speak to this as well. That would be fun, right, Shani?
That would be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Sure, we're gonna do that. So, so now let's talk about a couple of other things. For anybody who didn't see Ready to Love, there was a lot of upsets in it. People we thought were in love, they were not in love. People we thought were connecting, they weren't connecting. People didn't know had a connection, had a surprise connection that threw us for a loop. So, Shani, let's talk about two women who had a relationship that we didn't see coming, had no idea that they had formed this friendship. That's Stacey and Chris, otherwise known as
freaking Frack.
That's what they said, right? Yeah. So
that's me and you. No, I'm like,
absolutely. I'm like, what are they doing taking our names? Right? Back off, girls. Oh my goodness. But this was like crazy because, so you think it started on the show? Because did they know each other before?
No, they did not. She said they said they did not know. Initially, when I was watching the little preview, I thought that it was a friendship that they had established prior to this. But then when seeing the episode, she said that they did not know when they met each other. They just hit it off. Just hit it off.
Gotcha. All right. So they said they had a little sister-wife situation, but that was such a turnoff for the guys. That was really, they were just like, listen, you're talking about one, you're talking about the other one. And that was interesting. They really pointed the fingers at them like they shouldn't have paired up in that way.
I think it was more so Stacey, they felt as though they couldn't talk to Chrysanthemum or Chris unless they went through Stacey, because everything they were saying, Stacey's like, well, if you're gonna come to step to her, you gotta do this and XYZ. And I guess she was like,
wow,
sister girl thing to them, dictating how they had to come to her or whatever.
Now this is interesting.
That's the part that turned them off. That's what my summation of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and she ended up being a bye-bye. So that was really interesting that they didn't see that she was ready to love. She was really hurt by that too.
I know. When they cry like that, I was like, whoa, I haven't seen that. Hasn't happened in a while.
I know. So, I mean, family, I know Shadi and I, we talking because we're at Chat Suite and we chat. That's what we do. But, for those who didn't see it, we had two women leave this episode, and it was Stacey and Tressa. And it was really, really heartfelt.
Yes.
Yeah. They were really emotional, not boo-hooing, like, screaming and crying, but you could see, like, Stacey was completely shocked.
She really was. Because she had no idea that she didn't think that would be the case. Right.
And then we turned around and was equally shocked when they said it to Tressa, because we had no idea there were two eliminations.
We're going to leave. Exactly.
What is going on? This is crazy.
And why they let her make our boy Joel do it, though? He was like, oh, you heard me?
Baby.
My baby.
I know. What his sayings, I love it with these sayings. What does he say? What does he say about Benicia? She's sweet. What does he say? Something sometimes.
Hey, I forgot.
He said something really cute, like she's a sweet thing, or he said something really cute. Yeah. So Stacey and Chris, coming in as sister wives, that didn't fare well with the gentleman. We had Alexis Fly. Right. So Alexis Fly and Jason, they had a really great, honest, transparent conversation, which I was happy that he was honest with her, because you could tell he just didn't see her in that way, and he seeing her as a teacher. And so I appreciated that. You appreciated that, Sean?
I did. I think that he had to say something, because it was going to get more awkward, because their interactions prior to him just coming out and spilling telling how he felt were awkward to me. Because remember how he would be last episode, he's sitting all the way on the other side of the sofa and she's talking. Yeah. It's like, oh.
And she said something about that too, like this distance, like we can't get close to one another. So right. And so he's someone that she's probably had been eyeing as taking her child to school, and like, oh, look at this handsome teacher, but he couldn't get past that. That's just how he saw her. What was your take on this episode last week?
It was like surprising. I was very emotional. I kind of shed a couple tears for my girl Tressa. I felt bad for her, but I think knowing about, what is his name, Ron and
Alexis.
Like, who knew? They've been both putting that on. They was keeping that under wraps, right?
Yes. She's like, well, that's what was the big surprise to me. I'm like, they talk. She's like, we're talking every day. I had no idea. Because had they ever shown any interest in one another on there before?
They didn't show it to us on the viewer. They didn't show it to us.
You said they didn't show it to us, right? I know, right? So when Chris was saying, well, going over that to your number one, and I know who your number one was, I was thinking, like, what was she talking about?
That's the same thing I thought. I was like, who is she? I thought she was talking about what's that? Not Alexis, Stacey. Because Stacey,
right.
Now she's got too. I guess I don't say too much mouth. I shouldn't say that, because that to me, in effect, that's what he was really saying though about Stacey. Because he initially he voiced that he was into Stacey and Chrysanthemum.
Mm-hmm.
But then he, kicked Stacey off to the courier. He dropped her off the list. But that's what I thought she was speaking of when she asked him that. And when he said Alexis, I was like, really?
Right. And then they're having a great connection, he said. So yes, so something you just said about Ron and Stacey. When Stacey, I don't know if it was when she was, challenging him to say, like, you're an alpha male, make a decision back and forth. Because remember, he said, well, I'm not your child.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess, I know when a woman is saying, we know as women when we're, wanting a gentleman to step up and, take the lead or make a decision in something. But again, like he said, we're going through the process. And so, don't challenge me to try and pick and choose between And they knew that back end of that whole freaking Frack thing.
Right.
Try to challenge me to do this choosing between you and your girlfriend, quote unquote, right now, which is quite interesting too, because why would you? I don't know. I mean, I guess they felt it was okay for them to still
like the
same guys. I mean, and I guess since they didn't know each other from the beginning, they just became friends on there. So it was a different dynamic. So I mean, they were playing like a interesting balance too, because we're freaking Frack, we're sister wives, we like the same guys. But then she's like, well, you need to choose one of us. And it's just like, well, do you do that to your girlfriend? Or I mean, it's that girl code, like, oh, but then she's like, we understand, we know what it is. Because remember, she said that to Tommy. Like, we know, she was like, we understand, we know what's going on. So I don't know. I was just like,
but it's like Stacey was doing most of the time. Chrysanthemum, I mean, like I said, we know that there's editing, we know who knows what actually transpired throughout the whole scene.
Right.
But it seemed as if Stacey was the one doing all of, she was bossing up like that, whatever, and Chrysanthemum was just smiling,
Mm-hmm. I think this broke her down too, because she probably had that conversation, she said, with her children, and she was just like, I promised them that, she was like, I promised them that we would get across the finish line together. And I was thinking like, ooh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I was just like,
when she said that, I was like, why would you involve your kids in that?
I know.
I let my kids down. I feel bad. Now that's another thing that wrenched at my, her. I was like, what?
Right. Yeah.
My kids down.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't, miss. You did not.
Don't say that. Right. I was like, no, don't say that. I mean, don't put them up, and don't put that situation as a barometer whether or not you disappointed your children, because until they get to the point where they understand the language of love and the dynamics inside of love, that's not even there. But I mean, I don't know, maybe she was going to go, I don't know, because who knows the relationship. And I don't think she said, we didn't see we don't know how old her children were, do we?
To me, I think at the beginning, remember when they had to introduce me, I think they're teenagers.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure though.
Gotcha.
I remember at the beginning when they were introducing them, I think they may have flashed it. I
think. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it seems as if they were teenagers.
Okay, gotcha. So, so they had those great dates, and then came the masquerade ball. Again, guys who didn't see it, a lot of different dynamics and dates that happened, of course, this week. And then they went to this fancy masquerade ball, which everybody was dressed to the nines, the men and the women. They looked good. Tommy had Tommy was able to bring his wife there. This time Miss looked amazing as well. And so it was nice. So it was a chance for everyone to come in a masquerade outfit, and then, as Tommy said, take the mask off and just like, show who you are to anyone that you're interested in. Again, it was really interesting. This is where Stacey and Chris again really stood out for seeming as though they were maybe a little bit more, I hate to use this word, but a little bit more immature in the manner in which they were trying to date than the men thought it should be, because they just were like, why are these women as adults pairing up together like they're one? We're in a space where we're trying to find love. We're talking to everyone individually, and no one should be in that type of dynamic for each other. So that was really interesting.
That was.
Yeah. Liz came through like,
Liz came, the hair done, nails done, everything did.
As they said, the doors of the church was open when Liz came.
She was fast. I
said, come on, Liz. She came through like a firebomb through there. She really looked beautiful. And so, but even through her looks and how beautiful she looked that day, and she straightened her hair and everything, and she still, when she talks with that little southern drawl, she's just so genuine in her.
So endearing, endearing.
Yeah, she was. I was just like, oh, Liz, like she's wonderful. And David, of course, as she said, I think his mouth dropped when he said I love that. Yeah. And so that was so interesting that Jason, so everybody, Liz, of course, David is the one who they have the great spirituality dynamic between one another, and they are okay with abstinence and everything. They were really seemingly equally yoked. Liz is interested in Jason a little bit because Jason and they had a conversation, and her interest is there. He piqued her interest. So you say what?
I don't see that being a
Don't
match.
see
That's
I
just me.
know.
That's just me.
Me neither. We could be. You listen. They pulled the rug off and under us. This other
Right.
time.
So who knows,
But
right? Stranger things have happened, huh?
yes, but if they turn around and Liz and David don't continue, I mean, I will be completely floored if it becomes her and Jason because she did ask him about his upbringing and Christianity, and that's what was really important to her. So I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. They are going to go on a date, right?
For next season. I
Yeah.
mean, the next episode. Yes, next week's
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, they sure are. Yes.
Yeah, they're going to go on a date. And so now the other thing, and I wanted to ask you about this, Shani, what I found interesting is that Alexis is still saying she's interested in AJ. And I wonder where that's coming from because you know how AJ was sort of turned off by her when on that first date they had because she was so forward with her sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, again, like maybe
she's not getting I don't know if she can read the messages. I mean, or she can, see the messages, or because she's not good at reading the room. Or I don't know if that's the term, reading the room. But just like, because remember I go back on what Dedrick said at the beginning of the show. If a man wants you, you will know, right?
Right. Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, you said right. Yes.
Like when he said that, I said, yeah, he and I must know one another because I've been saying that for a very long time.
You have to keep running behind him and asking and doing this and doing that. You'll know, right?
Right. And so I love the way they're mixing it up this time. Right. And again, this episode was really shocking to me. Just had no idea. We thought we had it figured out. We hadn't figured out anything, on what was to happen. So it will be so interesting to see this dynamic between Ron and Alexis develop now that it's out of the box.
Yes.
And next week we see Amber and AJ going on a date, which it seems as though she was clear with him that she thought he was arrogant. Right. Which he seems to be a little bit. I mean, just what you think?
Maybe a little.
Just a little bit. Right. Just a little bit, So
Amber's also going on a date with our baby. Hey, baby, with Joelle, honey. Yes.
I missed that. Oh my goodness, really?
Yes.
Okay. How did that look?
I mean, they just showed a clip of it at the end for the preview. Yeah. So I can't judge. I can't say what it looked like.
Okay.
They are going to go on a date.
Interesting. Okay. So this is interesting. So family, listen, it keeps developing with more and more twists. Tommy told us from the beginning that he was going to have a lot of different dynamics and twists into the situation. And it is happening right before our eyes. I hope you guys are excited and as intrigued as we are.
I'll just say this, Ready for Love season 4 will not disappoint, right? It is not disappoint.
Yes, if you haven't tuned into it because wonderful different dynamics with this love train that people are on as adults, as grown people, and people have been married, people have never been married, people who have children, don't have children. It's just really all over the board, what they're looking for, what works for some and not others. Like I said, I'll always go back to Vernisha and Joelle, where they were really connected to one another because they both had gone through some things. And that was so interesting that's what really connected them and something that they really liked in one another. So hold on to your hat. It's getting hot over here on Ready to Love. It's getting family. Stay tuned. We are going to continue to keep looking at it, dissecting it, trying to figure out who will be the standing 3 couples. Hopefully it'll be 3. And who's going to fall in love, who's going to fall out of love. Right, Shadi?
Yes. Who is ready to love?
Absolutely. Thank you, family, for stopping in with us again here at the Chat Suite. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And that would be interested in this great content that we're bringing. Definitely share the channel with some of your friends. Let them know. We want to make sure that we are, again, bringing great information, fun things too. We don't want everything to always be serious. We like to do some fun stuff too. So keep on following us, family. We got some other good stuff coming every week.
Yes. Bye-bye. See you next time.